पे इसमें ये दिक्कत भी है, साला बंद करो तो बंद हो
Namaste, this is RishikeshWritings, and today our guest is Galia from Israel. She is a spiritual seeker, a book writer, and a traveler who loves to travel India, Rishikesh, and around the world. Well, today we discuss about her book, about her experiences in India and Rishikesh. Namaste, Galia.
Namaste.
Galia, which part of Israel you coming from, and how the spirituality development come in your life? Because when we see Israel is a small country, but everybody have to participate in the army, and from that particular thought process, how you take yourself out from this box and come into the spirituality.
Okay, I did go to the army for 2 years, but that was a long time ago when I was 18, and now I'm 59, so it's a long time ago. But Israel is still a stressful country, and when my son was born, I was thinking, okay, when he will reach 18, he will not have to go to the army. But later on, he reached 18, and what to do? The
Everybody have to participate on the army.
Yes, yeah, boys and girls. Yes, and I'm coming from Tel Aviv area, a small town next to Tel Aviv. It's a beach area, uh, very nice. And spirituality in Israel is developed. I'm not saying there's no spirituality over there. All kind of spirituality and yoga is available, but it's not the same as in India.
So what difference you find it the yoga in India and yoga in Israel?
All right, the yoga in India is different by the sense that it's not only practicing. For me, I'm a yogi, and means a lifestyle, not only practicing the yoga. Of course, and every morning I'm doing my practice, and I do a little bit of meditation and a lot of yoga, and I do practice. It's a regular thing, but it's the daily life is observing the character named Galia, how I live, and being helping people, try not to harm anyone, to contribute my share to the universe. So this is a kind of moral, and in India it's accelerating. I feel that the day just starts and whoops, it goes by, and whoever I need to meet is coming my way. Like I met you by mistake in Madras Cafe, and here we are. So in India, everything is happening more frequently than in other places. And I feel something, especially here in Rishikesh, but basically in India, that we are closer to God. I don't know how to say that. And especially in in Rishikesh and in Yogneketan, the place we are now is the ashram Yogneketan, which is my second home. I like to come here and stay here for a while, practice here, learn. And I'm in this path for so many years, but still I am learning and learning and still feel that I don't know that much. I need to keep on practicing, keep on going with at the moment with the inner guru, with the flow, with what happening, not only what I want to that will happen, but what eventually happens.
And who is your first teacher in your life, like who introduced you to the yoga?
Well, you mean the yoga teacher I had in Israel, a yoga teacher, but she taught only the yoga postures, nothing more than that. Okay? And when I came to India, the third time when I came to India, this is what my third year in India, I decided that, yes, spirituality is what I'm looking for. And then I traveled from one spiritual place to another, one ashram to a Buddhist monastery, and try to find out where is my place And then I got established here in Yogneketan. My teacher here was Neerji, is not longer here in the ashram. Maybe he will come back. But at the moment, I'm listen to my inner guru. I feel that I have a guru that is not in body, and I get all the time some kind of practices that I'm applying. So it feels good.
And how you find yourself in Rishikesh, and how the Rishikesh is helping you in your inner journey and your self growth.
Right. There is something that called the hummus trail in Israel. Hummus is one of the dishes that we like to eat. And the hummus trail is the places when Israeli used to go. So on my first visit, I went from one place of the hummus trail to another. I didn't have the confidence of traveling by myself all the time, although I came here by myself, but I met Israelis all the time, traveled with mainly with Israelis. And later on, I traveled alone. I was looking for my own path within this quest. And I met India first time. On my first visit, I went to the Arti in Parmas Nikitan, and I said, this is amazing. I came there with two friends, and they they didn't like the chanting so much. They didn't connect, but I felt like I want to stay here. I went inside and asked them, "Can I stay here?" They said, "No. Now we are fully packed. So come back within 3 weeks." And I did go to Kasar Devi, which is next to Almora, a very, very spiritual place. Stay there for a while in the nature, and I came here. This was in 2013, long time ago, and this was my first experience in here in yoga, and and then after that I came back to Parmarth, and I even started my book over there. But it happens that I used to go out, and when I come back to Rishikesh, I used to write few more chapters, and then later on I become like a full-time job writer, and the book accelerated, and I finished it here in Rishikesh.
And what would you like to say to your young generation, young children, to about the meditation, and how it can help them in their life? Because in armed forces there is so much of stress, because we have every time we have to be with their command and all. So how the meditation work for them? And do you
Right. So
or
Israel is
do you establish any particular meditation techniques for them which can help them?
well, let's say that I'm not the, the best meditator, if I can say. I'm doing a relatively short meditation, mainly on chanting a mantra, but I change the mantra from time to time, whatever I feel that this is the right mantra to chant. I also do meditation, the Buddhist meditation. I did it for about 1 year during the pandemic on Zoom with guides from Israel and from here. But basically, I'm not the one who is meditating for long hours, establishing meditation. But for me, life is kind of meditation. And what I tell people about meditation, that just sit and take the time to relax. You don't have to sit for several hours. Just start with 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Do it easily, and whatever happened in those time that you practice, it's okay. So sometimes I get into it very quickly. Sometimes it takes time, and it's okay. It's just the time that I take for myself. And for me, the yoga practice is a meditation as well, because what I'm doing is intuitive yoga. Means I of course I learned a bit of yoga, but I just come, put my mattress, and start to do whatever the body wants to do today. I have all kind of issues in the body, and I cannot do all the poses that you guys can do, but nevertheless, for me, it's just like the yoga is part of a meditative active. I listen to the body, I listen to the divine energy, I see what the body wants to do now. If the body wants to go this way, it's okay. But for me to stand in one position is very difficult. This is why even I get to the position, I will do with the head like this, or do something with movement with the body. Staying still in one position, it's okay if it's lying down or sitting on the chair in my case. So I think it's okay if someone wants to meditate, find a good position for him, whether it's lying down or sitting on a proper chair. This is okay. It doesn't mean that we have to sit still in yogic poses, and everyone can meditate, even with open eyes. People who find it difficult to meditate, so I said, okay, you can just sit straight and focus on one point. This is meditation as well. You just focus on one point. And frankly, this is what the first meditation I used to practice was with open eyes, focusing on one direction. This is a very, very easy meditation to do, only for 10 minutes. And after that, when you get to know the meditation, you can prolong the practice. But for me, I'm not so much tradition. I try to follow the traditional way. This tradition, that tradition, not always working for me. So what I started to do is to look for my own way of doing things. And of course, if it's available, I go to meditation class. But in most cases, it's not available.
Well, we have the book of your, which is in front of us. That book is called the Guru Suitcase.
Right.
So, what exactly this Guru Suitcase, and how this suitcase comes into the reality?
Right. So I first of all wrote the book in Hebrew, and it looks different. And it's called The Suitcase in Hebrew. Then I went to a publisher, and the publisher changed the name to The Guru's Suitcase, the suitcase of the Guru. And they said it's going to be much more interesting to call it's in English that way, and I agreed because they were the professional. So I'm traveling most of the time, and let's put the pandemic time aside, because during the pandemic I was in Israel. I was traveling in Israel. I was changing my position from time to time, but for about 1 year I lived in one place in Tel Aviv. So this is another story because it was difficult to travel.
If you stay in pandemic in Rishikesh, how do you find yourself?
Well, probably very well, but my family were very, very worried.
Yeah.
I was here in March 2020, and my family, here we didn't feel anything at the beginning. And my family would say, there is a pandemic, you must come back. I said, what are you talking about? I'm not coming. And then my mother said, please come, please come. My sister, please come. The other sister, please come. And my daughter said, maybe it's time to come. So I said, okay, I'll come. And I'm very glad that I did, because during the pandemic, it was good to be with the family. It was good to be in my own place.
So, what is your a favorite chapter in this book, this called the Guru Suitcase, and why the people should read those chapters?
Okay. So the first, I like a lot of chapters here, but if you say the one, so this is a chapter when the Guru is speaking, like the Guru is giving satsang, and he is photo shooting, like they do it in India, and the Guru is talking about miracles, how miracles it's possible, and the whole story here about the beginning is a miracle. There is an Israeli family that meets enlightened yogi in Israel, and he blessed them, And after that, they come home and receive a wonderful gift. They find inside the home a suitcase with $1 million. This was there. And then they decide to just pack a suitcase and come to India. And he is talking about in this chapter about the miracle. That people really like to receive miracles, but they do not believe in miracles. And when the miracle happened to them, they don't believe in the miracle. They said, no, that cannot be. And in the one other chapter, never mind, but in the beginning, when they find the suitcase, so the mother said, okay, smiling Baba uh, said he will give us he will help us. So he helped us. We get a present. Thank you, smiling Baba. And she is ready to receive it. But the father said, are you crazy? It's belonged to someone. And she said, no, it's a miracle. He said, no, this is not possible. So people do not accept the miracle, even if they encounter a miracle, sometimes they will miss it.
So, do you find any miracle in your life which
Of
change your
course, of course.
life? So, what is this particular incident happen with you in a life which turn your life into a miracle?
Okay, there's a lot of things, but even coming to India, it's a miracle for me because I didn't thought that I could come, and at one point, I was my two children left home at the same time, and I wanted always to travel, but it was not possible. I have children and responsibilities, and I have my own business, so how can I travel? And I say to myself, okay, now I invented a new tool which called the Diary of Flow. Let's see, do I flow in my life? Found out that I do not. And after what do I flow? And then I realized that I just want to flow after whatever happens. Let the universe show me the way. And after 1 month after that, I was here in India. So this is a miracle because I didn't thought it will happen. I didn't thought that I have the money for it. But then I came to, I was thinking, how can I do it? And then oh right, but I have an apartment in Israel. Why not to rent it, take the money and buy the ticket? And that's what I have done. And I'm still doing it. Now,
And still, this is a miracle. This
it is
apartment is
a
helping you
miracle.
to
Yeah.
travel your journey. Yeah?
Yes, yes. And there's so many little miracles always happen in my life. And at the moment when I want to do something, I ask the divine energy whether I should do it or not, what to do, what to do next. And uh, once before I felt stressful inside. What to do next? Where to go? What to do? I don't have a permanent home now. I'm traveling all the time. So, but now I feel that things just happens to me naturally, and this is kind of my practice all the time. To if I feel stress, okay, find out, stop for a moment, just ask myself what is going on inside myself. If I need to advise someone, I ask the divine universe, who should I who should I talk to? And
And how about that? How your family support you in your journey, or they say they have a different vision for you,
yeah.
like why the mother is traveling in India, different country, and around the world. She have a family. She should be with us.
That's true. So in the beginning, my mother was against this travel. And my children said, yes, very good. My mother is cool. Go and have good time for 6 months. And in the beginning, they supported it. But later on, the family said, so what's next? Okay, okay, why India again?
Yeah.
And third time, again India? Or settle down already. Do something with your life. And I felt that nothing seems to work for me after I discovered India. Nothing seems to work. So I just wanted to keep on coming back to India.
So what India give you?
India gave me, I feel supported here. I cannot understand, I cannot explain that. And the Indians are so nice and supportive. And India gives me, I feel, good teachers, amazing teachers. Like I study here in this ashram for Acharya Niraji. He was my teacher for a while. But then I went and discovered other kind of teaching, like Muji and Om Baba and Prem Baba and Atmananda at the moment. So I'm open to all kind of teachings that with the enlightened being that make me feel more and more enlightened myself. Like I'm in the past, it's a process.
And which is the best city you love in India?
So far, it was Rishikesh. Now I don't know what to say. The Rishikesh have changed here during the pandemic, and usually the people who came to India to Rishikesh was spiritual seekers from all over the world. We have here the yoga festival and the film festival and this and a lot. I used to find a lot of seekers, not only in this ashram, everywhere in Rishikesh. We were all here, but now there's a very little amount of tourists here, and not so many Israelis for sure, like before, and a lot of Indian tourists. Nothing wrong with Indian, but the thing is, they come for rafting and for bungee and for doing here. Not so much spiritual, but still with all that it's packed. Sometimes the moment I go down from the ashram, I leave the ashram. I said,
And the
"Oh
road
my
is
God! Oh my
totally jam packed with the traffic. Yeah.
wow! 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 Wow!"
Recently, like some group of the people in Rishikesh, they found up during the Holi, the lots of the Indian tourists come. They
Yeah,
consume a high amount of alcohol. They throw the bottles nearby the Ganga.
exactly,
What exactly
exactly.
you would like to say to those generation in India, like how they can go to understand their own country?
I think that the Indians now are shifting between being Indian to being Western, between the tradition
Yeah.
and the new generation is a little bit in between. So I think that spirituality is still very important. It's, it's if you take the other substance and another substance, drink again and again, all this doesn't lead you very far. So I will advise the new generation just to find your own treasure. And India have so many treasures. I mean, not only temples, but enlightened beings and teachers and acharyas. And the Ganga is a great teacher. So just, not only playing with the Ganga, just respect the Ganga. The Ganga is one of my teachers. And when I'm not in Rishikesh, I feel that the Ganga is calling me. And when I was in Israel before I started traveling, I would never say something like this, the Ganga is calling. But I feel connected to the river. So I feel that it's better to keep it clean and neat and clean and respect the river. It's better. And yeah, join ashrams, join spiritual activities. Slowly, slowly. I'm not saying in one day you will become a monk. Not necessarily at all.
So this is a baby step to learn about
Yeah.
the self and the journey.
Yeah, it starts slowly, slowly, and it's okay. Even when I arrived to Rishikesh at the beginning, I was going here and there. Of course, some teaching, but here and there, and it's okay. It's great even to go around. But slowly, slowly, I come to the point that I want to travel less and establish more in the spiritualism, and get more more involved with the meditation and this lifestyle that is not so hectic. Oh, parties, they have Holi here and so many parties around. I think I'm and the yoga teacher Sailesh in the night before Holi, we were the only one in the ashram. All the other people went out. All the guests went out to celebrate. I didn't feel like celebrating, but the next day we have the celebration here on the grass. We were dancing. That was very, very nice to celebrate with the people I like here. The teachers, the staff, you know, the the guests here. We all become a family. And next time I come, it's not always the same people, but become a family again. So it's nice that have found this place.
So, what you are taking this time from India to your home?
I see that India is changing, but the nice thing that I am seeing in this change is that the women, they start to travel, they start to go by their own, they start to be more coach and more healers and more uh, tarot readers and more independent, especially the young generation, but not only, even people that girls that have already family and they're not waiting for the approval of the family anymore. A lot of Indian girls do not, even if they get married, they don't want to live with the in-laws and serve the family. So India is changing, and the beauty that I see, I usually used to say that I'm so grateful that I was born in Israel and not in India, because as a woman, I can do whatever I want as an Israeli. I can go anywhere I want. I can come to Israel to here as a tourist. And the nice thing that happens to the women is that they started to practice meditation, come to the ashram, travel, uh, find out what's good for them, and I think it's a wonderful process.
Well, thank you very much for your time and valuable thought about the Rishikesh, India, your own experiences.
Thank you very
So,
much.
well,
It's
you guys
wonderful.
can find the Guru suitcase in Amazon US. From there, you can get your copies.
Yes,
And
the ebook is available in Amazon India as well, but unfortunately not yet the hard copy, but I will look up to it, how to do that.
so you experience the journey of Galia in the book called The Suitcase,
The Guru Suit.
The Guru Suitcase. Namaste. So we will bring you another guest in our shows and introduce you toward their journey in city of Rishikesh, their own experience with the Mother Ganga, and
Thank you very
some more.
much for asking me to do this interview, and your questions are so wonderful. I really appreciate your help.
Thank you very much.